right, welcome everybody. It is the third Tuesday of the month, and it's time to talk about benefits, enrollment, and administration. So for those of us that offer benefits to our teams, we certainly know what kind of headaches that comes with. We know we need to collect what seems like endless number of forms. We need to educate our team on the benefits that we're offering, what's going to cost them, what the benefits entail. And then we have to report all of that off the carriers. And then we have to update payroll to fix deductions and so forth. And don't forget, we start all over again when someone new comes on board. So we have to make sure we get that open enrollment for them. And then we always lose the forms, at least I do anyway. So we have a tool within the system to help manage benefits administration. So we're going to go through the whole benefits administration process, what open enrollment looks like, updating benefits, how to manage the administrative piece, some integrations that we can do, and then we'll have some time for questions at the end. So the goal here is to show you how to use some technology and how to improve the benefits enrollment process. So let's start from an employee perspective. If we look at our employees, certainly our employees log into my HR stuff. This is the employee side of payroll, okay? And they have the ability to do a whole lot in here, which of course they can see their pay history, they can update their deposits. If you're using timekeeping, they can punch in and out, review their time cards, request time off, they can manage all their personal information, they can submit expenses if you're using expense management. So much going on. We also have the employee marketplace, which offers certain discounts for employees as well. But today we're going to talk about benefits. And from within benefits enrollment, we can see exactly what employees have for benefits today. So if they're using, if they already have existing benefits in the system, they can see what those are, but they can also enroll in benefits. And this can be done from an annual open enrollment period, or it could also be done for a new employee or a life change. So you're probably going to have multiple open enrollment periods here. So when they come in here, when you set up an open enrollment, the employee is going to get several emails probably throughout this process to remind them that open enrollment is open and that they can come in and log in and select their benefits. If they don't select their benefits within the period, certainly an open enrollment period usually is a couple of weeks. If they don't do that within that period, they're going to get reminder emails, and you're going to be able to see on the back end who has and who has not even started the enrollment, and you can poke them as well. So certainly I always encourage everyone to introduce their employees to the benefit programs that you offer before they go through the technology process. However, we want to aid you in that process as well, where in the open enrollment, you're going to see in just a second, we can include all of the specifications of the benefit plan. So if you have summary plan documents, benefit summaries, things like that, you can include those right here. So we certainly know that a lot of our employees may take these home to their spouses to review and go through. So that's important that they may have all that available online. As a reminder, this My HR stuff is completely mobile friendly as well. So we're looking at it from a computer version, but if they want to do this on their phone as well, they can do that. So once they're ready to come in, obviously this is the homepage for benefit enrollment. It's going to say, welcome, we're in our demo company. We can put whatever information we want in here on this home screen. So if you wanted to say, hey, don't forget to call Susie in HR if you have questions, here's the timeline, whatever you want to put for a welcome message, we can put that in here and certainly include that in the emails as well. So we'll go ahead and hit start. So this is our demo employee. This gives the employee the ability to come in here and update any of their personal information. So if they wanted to come in here, update their address, their phone numbers, contact information, they could do that, right? We're not going to do anything like that. All they have to do is hit edit up here in the top right, and they would do that. In this situation, everything is correct. So we're going to go ahead and hit next. It's also important to put any beneficiaries or dependents in here. Certainly, if you are selecting coverages that require a spouse or children on there, that is important to put that in there. We can make these required, and certainly if they select a plan that requires a beneficiary or a dependent and they don't enter it, it's going to push them back to this page. They have to put it in. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to come in here and do a spouse, right? And this is going to be a dependent. And we're going to call this John Berry. And we'll put a birthday in there. And all this information in. Obviously, we're going to use the same address. I'm going to leave the other contact information blank, and we'll go ahead and hit save. So now we have a spouse in here. So we're going to be able to add that spouse onto any of the plans that we choose. And again, if I choose a plan that requires children, it's going to push me back on here and say, oops, where are the kids? So go and hit next. So some of these plans, if they require you to, if they have different rates based on whether or not you're a tobacco user or not, you can push that prompt out here. We're seeing that more and more, and certainly there are other health questions that come along, and these can all be customized for your plans as well. So once we hit next here, it's going to show us the plans that this employee is currently enrolled in. So they have a 401k set up or 3%. They are not enrolled in the dental or medical programs. And certainly, if you have other insurances like life or disability or anything else you can think about, those would be built in here as well. If you have visions, anything can be customized for your plan. So if you've got it, we can build it in here. So this is a pretty basic demo with the most common, retirement, dental, medical plans. This is what they offer today. So they can say, hey, what plan am I in? If they were in a plan already, it would remind them what plan they were in and how much it cost them, so they could see that and compare it moving forward. So let's go and hit next. This will give us a summary of each plan that's offered and the cost. So with a 401k in this calendar year, any employee can do up to $22,500. If they are over 50, they can put in an additional $7,500 into that plan. If we look at our dental plans, these are the employee costs to the employee for the dental plan. So they can see at a glance before they even start selecting what these things are going to cost them, right? So if they go into a silver plan, it's going to cost them $360, but if they go into the gold plan, it's going to be more for children, spouse, family. All the plans are different based on that. Same thing with medical plans. We can see what the employee cost is per pay period, okay? And that will show what that's going to cost. Hit next. Now it's time to make a selection. So I'm going to come in here. I want to choose to enroll in the 401k plan. And remember, I had 3% before. I'm going to up that to 5%. Okay. If I wanted in my messages over here on the right, we don't have anything here, but we could put plan information about your 401k. What does the company offer? What does the plan look like? Enrollment, all that fun stuff. What does that look like, right? They can also opt out here. If they choose not to participate in here, they select the opt-out button, and that's great too. We're going to select plan. Now it's time to choose our dental plan. Again, over on the right here, we can see exactly what, if there were messages, we can see what that would look like in terms of the plan options, okay? I'm going to go for the gold plan, of course. I want the best. And I'm going to choose my employee plus one, my employee spouse coverage. And who are we going to cover? We're going to cover John. Again, if I had chose employee and family, I'm going to let John in, and I'm going to need to add those kids in, right? So we're going to leave that out for now, and we'll just add our spouse in there. Again, you can see on the right here, we have our shopping cart. It's going to show us the estimated totals of what it's going to cost this employee. As we build this, I hit select, it's going to update and say, okay, each pay period, you're going to have $163 for your 401k. Dental coverage is going to be $346. If I want to change that to a month or a year, I can see the estimated totals of what those look like over the period of time. I'm on my medical plan now. Again, I want to choose my gold plan. I want the good stuff. I'm going to choose my employee and spouse. I'm going to choose John. In this situation, it requires a PCP to be reported. I'm just going to put one in here, okay? And again, this is going to be $69 per pay period, so it shows that. And I can select that. Again, if there were any messages, if you wanted to put the plan documents in here, we could put the plan documents in here, and so forth. So we'll go ahead and select the plan. And now it's time to review everything. So currently, they have no deductions coming out. This is what they've elected on the renewal of the plan coming up whenever the end of your, or whenever your plan year is. So if it's an October 1st renewal and so forth, you can do that. We've chosen this. The employee is going to cost them approximately $236 per pay period. Obviously, the 401k is an estimate because it is based on their normal salary on a percentage basis, so that may fluctuate slightly. But you can see a monthly and an annual cost to these benefits. With this, at any time, if the employee wants to go out, come back in, they can start and stop anytime they want. There's no, as long as they get it done within that open enrollment period, there's not going to be an issue. So run it next. And now everything's done. This is where it would throw us an error if there was something wrong with it. we needed to add beneficiaries or we missed a field or anything like that, it would throw us an error. We go and hit next. And again, it's going to give us one final review here. We can view any information, what we're looking at, if we've waived anything. Once we're ready, I can go ahead and hit submit. Yes, I'm certified. This is what I want to do. I want to choose these benefits, okay? At any time up and until you as the employer have approved this, you can come back in and change these. So you have until September 30th or whichever time. If I come in and approve this, which we're going to go through the admin piece of it right now, they wouldn't be able to make any more changes. But they can come in and download this. They can view these benefits at any time. They come to my benefits. It's going to show them exactly what they've enrolled in and so forth from here. Now, these have not been approved yet, so they're not showing. If they've waived anything or if there's any historical benefit information, that would be. Let's pop in and look at the admin side of things. So from an admin perspective, we're going to want to look at our enrollment management screen, okay? So this will show us who is eligible to enroll that hasn't started. We can use our filters here. Who hasn't started, who's in progress, who's reopened it, who's completed it. If there are any paper forms required, so sometimes there are paper forms required, we can submit those in there. This will show you, okay, we have 2 people that have completed it, so we need to take a look at that. We can look at all of our enrollments that are in progress, that are pending approval. Remember, we now have to come in here and approve these, okay? So from an admin perspective, once we approve these, a couple of things will happen. The employee will no longer be able to make any changes without you going in and allowing that. If you are using carrier feeds, so we have the ability to link directly to your carrier. So if Anthem or Delta Dental or whoever your carrier is, we can set up a carrier feed over to the carrier. As soon as you hit approve, all of the enrollment data gets sent electronically to the carrier for enrollment. No forms, no paperwork, no nothing. I will tell you that the carrier feeds are not cheap. And if you are a small group plan, a lot of the companies will not do a carrier feed for you, unfortunately. So if we see generally less than 50 employee companies, you won't be able to do a carrier feed. But don't worry, we have great reports and so forth to help as well. So from our pending enrollment screen, we can certainly choose to approve all transactions or we can approve certain ones. If you're waiting on a form, for example, if there are paper forms, things like that, this is not set up for that. They may come into the managed enrollment or pending eligibility of insurance screens. In this situation, I'm just going to approve everything. I'm going to process my selected transactions. Everything is going to get approved, and this will get finalized. Now, the other thing that happened when I did this, it will show up on the employee screen, right? It'll show up on their benefits screen, and we're just going to toggle out of this and come back in from an employee perspective. This will show them exactly what they've got, how much it costs, and so forth, right? So that's a good thing. It will also update all of their deductions going forward. So as soon as the pay periods, or the benefit period starts, so if it's an October 1st start, for example, you've approved it. If the employee's deduction went from $5 a pay period to $8 a pay period, that will automatically go into place. There's no need for you to go in and change the deduction amounts on the employee's setup. So that's a really nice feature as well. We can certainly run a lot of open enrollment reports. So I like to look at the employment summary plan by election summary by plan. Okay, so we can see exactly who has enrolled based on the plan. So we have our medical pre-tax, here's our Anthem, who's enrolled in what type of coverage, how much it's going to cost, so forth. These are reports that you can send to your benefit carrier and send them off for enrollment. Okay. Certainly, we usually would do this in a PDF, an Excel format, so that you could send that electronically for import and things like that. We can create custom reports. So if there is some type of report that your carrier needs to do that enrollment with all sorts of information, names, dates of birth, social, address, whatever they need, we can get you those reports. A lot of them are standard in the system, but certainly they can be exported as well once the period is over. So, once open enrollment's done, everyone has completed this. We've looked at this. As long as everyone's done, we can go in and do that. With these benefit plans, we didn't talk a whole lot about the setup, but certainly we can customize these. If you have different benefits for different groups of people that you offer, we can segregate those based on eligibility rules. So if your management team gets different benefits from your frontline staff, or if you have a union or something like that that gets different benefits, we can customize those so everyone sees their own benefits. Okay. If there is the need to have other eligibility based on days or years of service, that will also be available for any types of plans. So pretty customizable in terms of that. So really nice to be able to build all that. Like I said, lots of reporting on this in here. And certainly if for those of you that are fortunate enough to have to do ACA reporting, once the benefits enrollment is done and complete, ACA reporting becomes a breeze. ACA reporting is literally a click of a button at the end of the year. We literally go in, we review it because the system knows when they were offered coverage, if they enrolled, if they didn't enroll, was it affordable to the employee, and so forth, and the reporting is done seamlessly. It's really, really, really nice. So, I will just show you one last thing on the back end. If we look at the employee benefits from the admin side of things, we've been here and see employee benefits. We can see exactly what they've got in here, start, stop dates, so forth. We can override the benefits if we wanted to, if that was an ability. If you had a special deal with a certain employee, something like that. Ending, start, and stop dates, all sorts of fun stuff in here to play with. And this one you can see they were at 3%. We just upped them to 5% based on different dates in here. So start and stop dates on the admin side of the house. So if you're using group term life, or if there was a life event that happened, so if, you know, generally speaking, benefit changes are only allowed when there are specific life events. We would build that in there. So if someone got married or divorced or something like that, it would allow them to go through an open enrollment as additionally in here. So pretty powerful stuff in terms of benefits tracking and open enrollment. So back over here, just want to remind everyone, my HR stuff, my HR stuff, my HR stuff. This is where employees can get everything they need from an employee self-service perspective. If you are still getting paper check vouchers or anything like that, let's get that changed. Let's get these guys on here. If they're watching TikToks all day instead of working, they can use this software to go ahead and adjust their information, view their pay stubs, and all that fun stuff. Promise you. Promise, promise, promise. Don't forget, papertrails.com/help and papertrails.com/resources all have videos of how to log in, how to reset your password, all the most common troubleshooting things in there. Papertrails.com/help. We have those handy dandy help cards that have the most common questions. If you need some of those, let us know. We'll send them out to you. Next month, we have a big webinar. We already have almost 100 people registered for it. We're going to be hosting a follow-up webinar. This is going to kind of be a launch for the Maine Retirement Investment Trust Program. So Maine does have a mandatory retirement mandate coming out starting January 1st. We will have Beth Bordowitz, who is the director of the new state program, coming on with us on October 24th, 2 o'clock. Feel free to register at papertrails.com/retirement. Also at that link, if you haven't seen it already, you can get our guide to the state's retirement program. There's lots of different options and things. If you already offer an employer-sponsored plan, a simple IRA or 401k, you do not have to go into the state's plan. If you do not offer an employer-sponsored plan, you will either have to start one or you'll have to go into the state's plan. And we're going to have a lot more information in October on how to get registered, when to register, who's eligible, all that fun stuff. We are piloting this program with the state in early October with a couple of our clients. So we'll have a lot more information at the end of October on how this is going to work and how the integration that we will have will also work. So more to come next month, the 24th at 2 o'clock. Don't forget to register for that. Questions? I'll open up the Q&A, questions, chat. Feel free to throw them in anywhere if you'd like. Certainly, if you don't have any questions today, you can always reach out to our team, any one of our team, at any time for more information about this, what it looks like, how it works, and all that fun stuff. I'm happy to entertain questions right now. Not seeing any questions right off the bat, but obviously, if you need any more information and have questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Anyone on our team can happily help and get you going. So otherwise, we will talk to you very soon. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you next month. Bye now.